Peace and good morning. Happy Monday to everybody. This is Getting It Together. Ooh, let me say it right. Getting It Together. I am Sha, known online as Dragon's Pitchfork. And I was hearing my own voice. That was driving me crazy. Yeah, man. It's Monday. I'm Sha, known as Dragon's Pitchfork. This is Getting It Together. This is kind of a live journal for me. This is also where I give updates on some of the projects that I'm working on, some of the communities I'm building, and just trying to share a minute developing myself and developing my skills. I'm learning these broadcasting skills so that I can help get the messages out that the communities I'm building are all working towards sending and disseminating to the masses and getting out to people. And what I'm using to do this, in case anybody wants to know, wants to learn how to do it. One, I'll teach you how to do it if you catch up on my website, dragonspitchfork.com. You can go to the services page. I have a new service offering called Creative Wellness Coaching. You can get on there and book a consultation with my creative wellness coaching. I'm going to encourage and inspire you to do the things that are important to you. I'm going to inspire you to pursue your passions, and I'm going to help you along the way. I'm going to help you with things like creative services, like maybe you need a logo, maybe you need help with the website, maybe you need help learning how to use social media a little bit better. Maybe you need help understanding the different forms of social media. Maybe you need video production, music production. Maybe you just need somebody to talk to. Maybe you're just struggling through thinking through some things. I've been doing that for a number of people over the years and just never realized that this is something I could turn into a service. So I'm going to offer it as a service. I am offering it as a service. So hit my website, dragonspitchfork.com /services, or hit the services button under there. You'll see creative wellness coaching and a few other services, and just hit the book a consultation button, and you can set up a time on my calendar for us to talk, and let's figure out what you need and how to put together a package that works for you. But I'm learning these skills so that I can help promote all the different causes and communities that I'm working toward. For example, I'm a I consider myself a social impact worker. I'm also a mental health advocate. Those come first and foremost. And then, of course, I do all the artsy, fartsy things like video production, music production, and all that. But what this space is here is, like I said, it's my space to practice and do some live journaling. I think journaling, I'm learning how important journaling it is for us to be able to get our thoughts together. And I've tried written journaling and I just can't stay consistent with it. Talked to somebody last year, I forgot who it was, but they said, there are more forms of journaling than just writing. There's written journaling, there's voice journaling. We can just do voice recording. As a matter of fact, it was a counselor. There's voice journaling. There is video journaling, and then there's arting as a form of journaling. I didn't realize that over the past few years, arting was my form of journaling that helped me get out of a severe, dark corner of depression and anxiety. And I want to continue that practice. When I'm not arting, then I'll be doing video journaling like I'm doing here. And voice journaling, I guess this is kind of voice journaling too, but whatever. So today, I chose a topic this morning. Something came to mind this morning, and I figured, you know what, I might as well stream these thoughts because they're spinning through my head this morning. I might as well share them because I know a couple people I've had conversations with, and we've enjoyed talking about these topics. So I figure I'll talk about them here in case I don't get a chance to catch up with them. And it's an easier way for me to have multiple conversations at once because I have a low power social battery. Once I do so much socializing, I need a recharge battery because I take on the thoughts and feelings of the people around me, and that drains my battery a lot faster than some people who get charged up by being in social situations. So today's topic is care for what people think, the prisoner perspective. And what made me think about that was, a lot of people will say, oh man, don't care about what people think. Don't worry about what other people think. And, I understand why people say that. But I think we got to really explore. Well, I had to really explore what those thoughts are. Let me preface everything I talk about with this. Anything that I speak about on these streams or in any spaces that I'm in is not advice. It's not suggestions. It's just my ideas. It's just my thoughts. take them with a grain of salt. If they resonate, cool. If they don't, cool too. But if there's something that you have thoughts and feelings on, I'd love to have a discussion and a conversation about it. So back to the topic, care for. I chose to use the term care for what people think because I care for people. I care about people. It's not something I can help. Some people can very easily just, I don't care what they think, and move on. And maybe that works for them. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or if it's just a coping mechanism that people have developed. I'm not sure, but I care for what people think because I know that what we think is a result of our experiences, our genetic makeup, our traumas, the lessons that we've all learned in our own walks in life. And everybody's just so different that we all have different reasons for thinking the ways that we do. So I care for people, and I care for whatever it is that caused you to think in the way that you do, especially if it's damaging to you or to somebody else. And I care about what you think because it might be damaging to you or to somebody else. I'm not going to tell you whether you're right or wrong anymore. I've learned that lesson. So that was a hard one. I was raised in an environment where judgment was handed out like, Girl Scout cookies, but for free, unsolicited. And that created the second part of today's subject line, the prisoner perspective. That created a perspective for me. That caused me to start to think inside of boxes. That created programming. And what I'm doing with these spaces, these Getting It Together spaces each morning, is I'm rebooting myself. I'm recoding or rewriting my personal operating system. And I'm recording it and sharing it because I want other people to be able to find the same forms of freedom that I've been finding over the course of my journey. So I really do think it's important to think about why people think the way they do and to take that into consideration before we respond, react, or just pass any form of judgment, feel any sort of way about it. That's really helping me to, when I engage with people, is thinking about why you think the way you do and why I think the way I do. I think about why I'm receiving what you're saying the way I do. That plays the biggest role out of everything. Again, the prisoner perspective. My own perspective can very easily imprison me and keep me from growing, expanding, learning a lesson, or just connecting with another human being because I'm so trapped in my way of thinking and my way of seeing the world that I'm missing out on an opportunity to learn something different or to see things from a new perspective. And perspective is one of my favorite words in the world because perspective is also one of the things that led to me healing. I think that's one of the reasons I was drawn to use cameras and encouraged. Maybe the universe was guiding me and encouraging me to cameras. I don't try to assign, if you know me, I don't try to assign any sort of meaning to a being or an entity. I just accept. But yeah, using cameras and trying to find interesting angles and perspectives with cameras showed me that there's so many different ways of looking at things, and that the standard way that we look at things, the straight up way, our own natural perspective, can very easily become a prison. I've found so much liberation and so much freedom and so much inspiration through using a camera and finding different ways to see things and look at things. And I try to shift that lesson from photography into life, and that seems to be making a difference and freeing me and making me feel a lot better about myself and the world around me. So that said, I hope you can care for what people think, care about what people think without letting that impact you negatively, especially self-judgment or worrying about the judgment of others. I really care about you and what you think, and I hope you are going to care about what I think so that we can have a true, genuine relationship. We can have real, genuine human communication. We can stop talking at each other and start talking to each other or sharing ideas with each other instead of trying to influence or convince each other. I really do believe that that's a big part of where the world's problems come from is, our ego is telling us that I'm right, you're wrong. Let me help you understand why you're wrong. And, that was kicked off. I think part of that was kicked off by hearing somebody recently talk about something that was triggering. It sent me back to a time when I didn't enjoy seeing people passing judgment on one another, or people focusing so hard on proving their points that they damage people in the process. That just doesn't resonate with me as a sustainable way of engaging with people. It seems like that to me, that's where we get our wars from. That's where we get our prisons from. People going to jail for their beliefs, or people killing people, people hurting people, people damaging one another. The world really, when I say peace, I actually have always meant it, but I've gotten confused so much along the ways. I really do mean peace. I want peace for myself, and I want it for everybody around me, and I want it for everybody that's not around me. And I think through us learning how to communicate and converse in ways that are more productive, less damaging, less ego driven, we really can change the world. But along with today's topic, I figured I wanted to do one other thing this morning too. I started having fun with playing with creating thumbnails. This whole social media thing has been a journey for me. I've gone from using it as just something to have fun with and play with, to using it for evil, using it to vent my frustrations and my pains, and especially when I was drinking so heavily that my incoherent thoughts are spilling out all over the place, to using it as a networking tool to connect with other people, especially people who, may be able to receive some assistance from me, or may be able to help me. It's definitely been a very helpful tool for me. And since I'm learning how helpful it can be, I'm working on learning ways to use it more effectively. And part of that includes me learning which platforms to focus on for right now, because if you try to focus on too many, it's easy to get lost in the matrix. Easy to get lost in the matrix. And you can easily lose track of your goals, your mission, your purpose, and you can lose time. So that's one of the reasons why I'm using this tool here to communicate with people and to share my thoughts and ideas, as opposed to, okay, I need to create a TikTok video, I need to create an Instagram video, no, not doing all that. I'm gonna use this one space, I'm gonna live stream to multiple places, and then hopefully I'll find the time to use that to create content for the other platforms, for TikTok and Instagram if I have time, or I'll create bits and pieces of content for Instagram and TikTok right now. But the stage I'm at right now, I'm building the communities and businesses that I'm building, requires connectivity. It requires me spreading my message far and wide, and me finding the places where my messages are resonating or my communications are resonating, so that I can connect with people in those spaces, so I can find new ways to grow and build. Because I'm at that stage right now where I've got to monetize what I'm doing. And I don't want to monetize by developing an audience. That's not important to me. I'd rather develop a community or a group of people that I engage with who really believe in what I'm doing and want to support what I'm doing, because what I'm doing is important. Not because they like me, or not because I'm entertaining. Because, I don't believe I'm the type of person who enjoys trying to entertain people. That's not something I really love to do. I guess maybe there's a little bit, because I like for people to enjoy the music that I create. I don't want to ever perform. I guess that's it. I never want to do anything performative. So I was getting to what I'm about to do, or what I'm about to share here next. And you're going to have to forgive me, because I'm going to have a lot of tabs open. It's something I'm working on. I have chosen to use these streams to push out my content. And one important thing on YouTube, when it comes to, your content is having an attractive thumbnail if you want somebody to end up clicking on that content. So I'm using Canva to create my thumbnails. And there's one other thing I wanted to share before that, and that's a tool that I just discovered last week through going to these Cardano for Climate meetings on Wednesday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern. They showed me this tool called Miro. And Miro is, man, I've been searching far and wide for a tool that will help me do what Miro is helping me start. I've been trying to find a way to do what Yanni has helped me understand is called mind mapping. I've never looked at what mind mapping is. I still need to look it up and understand what it is better in case I can learn how to do it better. But this has allowed me to at least get what's in my head out because I've been trying to articulate verbally and in writing what my vision is. And I've been making progress toward it, but it doesn't feel like it's fast enough. And being able to do what I did here in Miro created a little relief valve for me. Pardon me, I'm looking at getting screen share up, window capture up. So let's switch over here. You can get little tiny me in the window and a window capture. We are going to share the brave. All right, so Miro right here. We drop all these downloads. So with Miro, I was able to create this deal to show the different communities and initiatives and businesses and ways that I envision what I'm building with the people that I'm building with. So for example, I work under Dragon's Pitchfork, right? Dragon's Pitchfork was originally the business name. The concept for Dragon's Pitchfork, or the name Dragon's Pitchfork, came from that painting behind me on the wall. I painted that with a comb and some acrylic paint back in 2020, and I named the painting Dragon's Pitchfork. Came to the point in late 2020 when I was ready to release music, and I didn't want to keep using my old moniker, Yukon Black. I just felt like that person was gone. So I killed that persona off, or that entity off, and the next name that seemed like it fit was Dragon's Pitchfork. I'm like, all right, this is a business. I'll release music under Dragon's Pitchfork, and maybe this will become a label. Maybe this will become something else. And I ended up becoming known by Dragon's Pitchfork. So all the different initiatives that I do under Dragon's Pitchfork, I think what people know me most for right now is Grayskull, what I call hip hop group therapy. So as you can see with Grayskull, here are 3 of the initiatives that the team is working on, or I'm working on. It's really us, because it doesn't work if it's just me doing any of this. The one that you probably know, if you know me the best, is Gray Space, because that one is up and running. That one's active. That's right now. It is a subset of the episodes of Grayskull that we create. Last year, the goal was to have one mental health professional on each month while we were having other guests on. But I had to chill on that because recording, editing those in the way that I was editing them, and creating all the content in the way that I was last year was just really, really inefficient, and it was burning me out. I didn't have any help in that area at that time. So Gray Space was a subset of those episodes, but before it was those episodes, it was a safe space that I created. On Thursday nights, the crew would get together, has a space to come together and just vent, shoot the breeze, do something in an unrecorded fashion. Our original mission was doing it unrecorded. So we do our Wednesday Zooms where the whole crew gets together, and those would end up becoming our episodes. And on Thursday nights, whoever wanted to come on for the mental health and wellness purpose, and to just kind of have a place to really, really open up and not worry about whether what they were saying was being recorded, would happen on Gray Space. We've extended that to our community, and Malcolm's advised me to record these, and I record them with the understanding that if something gets a little too personal, I'm going to stop recording, or if somebody feels uncomfortable at any point, I'm going to stop recording. But it's our place where it's our initiative that's doing the best right now. And I have to thank Q and Rashid Wonder Dial for really helping to prop that space up and to make sure that it keeps going. There are nights that I can't make it, I don't make it, I'm just too tired, I'm too burnt out. And those gentlemen are there religiously every week, at least one of them. Normally it's Q who's keeping that going, man. And I can't thank him enough. And Grade Skull is the kids initiative. That's something that came about as an idea. The name came from Damon Deshawn. This brother's a genius when it comes to branding and names and ideas. But it came about as a result of us watching the videos that Tobias Black, Alex Glover, does for his kids at Lloyd Bond, the school where he teaches hip hop. My thought with Grade Skull was that we would reward the kids. Initially, she'd had the idea that, we could reward them with t-shirts or something like that. That's a great idea. Still love that idea. That reward them for good grades, because Alex was creating weekly rhymes and music videos to shout the kids out who did well in school. My thought, since I'm the tech computery guy and I'm really learning and focusing this Web3 space, was we'll reward them with NFTs and education about NFTs that they can take back to their families and teach their families about Web3 and the different opportunities that there are in this space with crypto and finding ways to monetize your art through the world of crypto. There's so many different opportunities that I'm still learning about, but I thought, maybe we could find a way to reward the kids with these. So there's the Grade Skull initiative. There's also another piece to that, which is just a reading program I'd like to put together, where adults get together, or not get together, adults read some text that's appropriate for children of that age in an interesting way on a video that we would upload to the Grade Skull YouTube channel. And maybe the kids could get some sort of rewards for interacting and engaging with that content, or just showing proof that they've read the book that was being read, something. So Grade Skull, basically the kids initiative. And then Kareem had an excellent idea for something that he started on TikTok called Gray Search, where he's trying to help find missing persons. It's starting with him posting about the missing persons and sharing their info. But I imagine there's more that we can do to support him in that effort. So it's another initiative that's waiting in the wings. And there are other initiatives that are on radar. But this app Miro, this website Miro.com, Miro.com, allowed me to at least start to mind map some of this. One of the other things that I've been working on is HFR. People hear me talk about HFR all the time, but they don't know like all the different facets and aspects of my vision for this at the time. And there's more than my vision, because I still haven't sat down with Yanni and said, hey, let's kick the tires on this. Let's flesh this out a little bit more. This is just what I dumped out Saturday because I just had to get it out of my head. So House of Fluid Reflections is my business that I'm building with Yanni. It was her idea. I'm adding on and augmenting her vision. And that's one reason why I don't push too hard on this business. It has to be her. It's her business, so I want to make sure that I am there to support and help her build her vision, not to co-opt her vision. So where we stand with HFR, our focus is rehumanizing creators by making them feel seen as people. And we've figured out through conversations with somebody who's jumped on board to help us shape it into a business and structure the business properly. Malcolm Rose Jr. He goes under the name Health, Wealth, and Hip Hop. He's building his own entity and brand. It's amazing. He's a financial advisor by trade, but he also is just really well read. He's a really intelligent brother. He's a genius, certified genius. Certified by who? I don't know, but certified by me at least. And I'm sure by anybody else that has a conversation with him. But he's helping us he's helped us understand that what we're building at least requires a nonprofit and a for-profit arm. We've realized that we need a for-profit arm because we've been doing nonprofit, what we've been doing out of pocket just isn't sustainable. We need a way to bring in income so we can keep going. That's why we've got a backlog of episodes of Artist Touch, for example, that we still haven't edited and put out because we need to go find some income. Right now, my lights could cut off right now in the middle of this stream. internet could cut off in the middle of the stream. We're looking for that income. So we've had to develop HFR Studios, where we'll do photo and video services for profit. So if you go to our website, houseoffluidreflections.com/services, you'll see the different photo and video packages that we now offer. And HFR Connect is our nonprofit arm. That's where we'll continue once we've got funding to do. And we're looking at grants as a possible avenue for funding. But there are other ways that we'd like to get some funding as well. Piece of King Mizzo. HFR Connect is our nonprofit arm. So that's where we'll do Artist Touch. That's where we'll continue to do something. I'm not sure if we're going to do the backstories shows on there, but we're the Chaotic Thought. That's Yanni's another one of Yanni's creations, and CT sessions. CT sessions will fall up under there. There'll probably be some spillover for her Sanctuary Soul Wellness recharge experiences that'll be offered under HFR Connect. But those will also see, some of these things may have hybrid activities or activities that feed one another. For example, HFR Studios might provide photo and video services to HFR Connect. We still have to work out the details of how that works business wise, especially when it comes to taxes and all that. But the Sanctuary Soul Wellness Recharge experiences are something that we also offer for a charge. There are group recharge experience packages under there, and there are one-on-one sessions where you can get with Yanni. She's like me. She's an excellent listener. She's an excellent person to kind of offer ideas and suggest, not even suggestions, offer ideas and thoughts that might be helpful for you in your personal wellness journey, or just in getting some stuff off your chest. We both had people tell us all the time, wow, I just find it so easy to talk to, and I really appreciate being able to talk to you. And we normally just do that because we're kind people, but now we've realized how much that takes from us. And when we're in a position where we've got to be able to provide for ourselves, we're realizing, okay, we can commoditize some of this, not all of it. We don't have to say, okay, you only receive these if you pay, but a lot of people are capable of helping us out in return for what we provide. And it's time that we love ourselves and show ourselves some care and look to receive some sort of assistance for what we're doing, so that we can keep being there to provide for one another. So Sanctuary Soul, that I should probably move that from where it is on the chart under HFR Connect and HFR Studios and have arrows going to both of those, for example. And I would probably do the same thing with Artist Touch and some of the other initiatives. And then HFR Family, the Artist Directory, that's something I came up with last year, because we've got a lot of really, really dope artists that we're connected with and connected to. And we know some people who require or need some services from artists. So now we've got a directory on our website. I have much bigger plans for this that I'll share at a later time, but it's going to become more than just a page on our website. It's going to be a big piece of what we do down the line. But again, funding, securing and locking down funding, getting peace of mind on that front is first and foremost for us right now. Another initiative that we just kicked off our first activity for, had our first launch activity for this weekend, is Color the Blockchain. That is an initiative founded by my man who's texting me right now, King Mizzo. He and his wife have created a charity called Color the Blockchain that is focused on providing equal access to Web3. The Web3 space, in his experience especially, has been very much like the real world in one way. And that's that you don't see a lot of people of color or women in the space thriving. I do see more women in the space thriving now than I do people of color, but maybe that's because of the silos of the people that I choose to connect with in the space. But nowhere near enough empowerment for women and people of color in that space, and nowhere near as much of a voice in that space for us. And you know what happens when you don't have our voices at the table when something's being developed? Bias has a chance to come into play, and that bias can end up causing damage. It can end up disenfranchising and removing opportunities from people. So Color the Blockchain is our initiative to provide equal access to Web3, will provide education, provide tools, for example, computers. Mizzo's already provided computers and opportunities for others in the past through his efforts with Color the Blockchain. I brought a real world charity to Color the Blockchain that we hosted a live event for this Saturday, and we'll be hosting 3 more with this real world charity called Blankets to the Streets. We got on this Saturday and we had a live stream with Blankets to the Streets founder, Veda, and she did a beautiful job explaining what Blankets to the Streets is. She told a bit about her story, and we talked a bit about Web3, but not much, because we also took some time to highlight a couple artists who were already in the Web3 space doing well. We had Crime Fighter on there. That's a crew of, I believe, about 8 artists. They played some of their music, told us a little bit about themselves. We're going to have some sort of follow-up with them to go more in depth with who they are and what they do. And we also had Matt Diamond from Baltimore. He's goes by the name, I believe, Hood Billions. They both played a piece of music, told us a little bit about themselves, and we just had fun launching the initiative. It was a beautiful space. Thanks and shout out to the whole Color the Blockchain team. There are a number of us. And I love the fact that we're all coming together to do this, and we're going to be minting NFTs to help provide another avenue of support for the IRL charities that we support. So Color Blankets to the Streets, we've created an NFT that we will be minting that people can buy in order to support her initiative and her cause. We'll give you more details as time goes on, but watch the stream, check out the stream. It's colortheblockchain.org. And I believe there's an events tab, and you'll see, you can click on the live stream and catch, what we did on Saturday. It was beautiful. I'm really proud of what went on. And I'm excited for what we're going to do there, because we're going to help a lot of people. And we're going to also help ourselves, because we are marginalized people ourselves. We are missing out on opportunities in the Web3 space. And part of that is because we don't have the same networks that some other people do have within that space. The networks of support, the networks of consideration, the networks that are free of bias. A couple of the other initiatives that I'm working on, working with Rap Heads. Mizzo's graced me with the title of community lead because I bring some administrative skills to the table, and I also bring I really have trouble saying this, but I do bring some leadership qualities to the table, I guess. I'm still working on getting comfortable with that. But he's graced me with the title of community lead, and I am bringing all that I have the power to bring to the community right now. Our focus with the Rap Heads community, which I love, is helping artists find a collaborative workspace, a collaborative environment where artists with all types of abilities and capabilities can come together and create music for the love of creating music, not with the focus on commerce. Although it would be nice to get the commerce part, and we'll probably find ways to help people get to the commerce part. The most important thing right now is making music for the sake of making music, because that's where I find my peace. That's where I find my love. That's where I find my joy. And I know there are a lot of other people who find the same, and that's been expressed by members of the community. As a matter of fact, we successfully created our first mixtape that started as just an idea. It actually kind of started, I think, as a joke on a Twitter space, one of our first Twitter spaces, if not our first Twitter space. And, somebody said, well, we could do it, just don't overthink it. And so it became the beginning of the Don't Overthink It mixtape series. Within, I think, 2 weeks, we had the instrumentals and reference tracks for all vocals submitted by anybody that was in the community. We voted on whose vocals and reference tracks would make it to the final cut for the mixtape. And T-Bear 183 from Grayskull, he went ahead and mixed it all up, did the jigga jiggas and mixed it up. And we put the mixtape out as an NFT. There's a free NFT. So DM me or anybody from the Rap Heads community who is on the mixtape for a copy if you want the NFT version, or you can go check it out on SoundCloud. I don't have the link right now, but if you hit me up, I can hit you with the SoundCloud link too. I know it's posted on my socials in different places. Then there's NFT Voices. For my efforts to kind of help out in that community, I've been rewarded for my efforts with the membership in the Founders Guild. What that means, not quite sure I can articulate that well right now, but I do really believe in this community. It's a community that is there to empower creatives and to help drive the narrative in the NFT space. We've got people of all types of cultural and gender backgrounds coming together to use our voices. We use our voices by hosting Twitter Spaces. I hosted 2 Twitter Spaces last week for NFT Voices. One is a new space that I just started with the host of the space, Enoch Kaz. He's an expert. Yeah, he's definitely an expert on the topic of neurodiversity. And he's a really intelligent brother. So we host a space called Full Spectrum Fridays on Fridays at 1 p.m. It's Eastern Time. He guides and leads the session. I help facilitate, just kind of keep the conversation going, or just kind of add some support for him in the conversations. But one of the reasons I'm there is because I'm very curious about whether I am neurodivergent, and I figure I'd like to walk that journey live and share my journey of learning about neurodivergence and things like autism and ADHD and how they apply to me, how they may apply to you. I feel like that should be done live. I'd love to do that live. If you know me, if you've been paying attention to what I do, I call what I do near real-time documentary. I want to show you as much of my experiences live or close to real time as possible, so that I don't have to go back and cut through footage to create a documentary. But I'm also creating the footage for documentaries down the line, I believe. Not just documentaries on myself, but documentaries on the people that I'm engaging with, because I would love to do documentaries for and with people, which is why I've created something else that's not on here yet, microfilm.me. It's going to be a bio service, for a personal bio service, and an artist bio or mini documentary service. I created one episode for it a couple of years ago, just kind of like something to play around with and kind of get my feel for it. I'll have to pull that back up. It was on my man Uncle Sickness, DJ Uncle Sickness. He's part of the production team that I'm a member of, Sick and Black. He's a really interesting dude, and he's a genius, and I believe that light needs to be shown on him and many others like him. So created an episode for him. I will dig that up and probably repost a link to that sometime soon. But NFT Voices, I host the that may be the ADHD thing, right? See, NFT Voices, I host the space with Enoch on Fridays, and now we've decided on Saturdays at 4 p.m. it's going to be a regular time for the space that we started last year. Myself, Tyler McNair, who initiated the space, and Drip Lord, my man Kyle, who also was there to support Tyler's proposal to start the space, which now is called Mental Maintenance. I call it Tune Up Time. It's a space it's a safe space that we hold on Twitter to provide places for people to vent, to learn about mental health related topics, and just connect with people in an environment that's going to be warm and supportive and judgment free. So NFT Voices, we do a lot more things besides those two Twitter spaces. But right now, our activities so far this year have been Mental Maintenance and Full Spectrum Friday. I know Thea and Frank Carini hosted their first space last week as well on Monday. The name of it escapes me, I'm sorry to say, but I know they hosted their first space last Monday, and I'm sure it went well. No, it went well. Thea has a wealth of knowledge and information, and I know I've been able to make their space once or twice before, and I know I really enjoyed their space. I'm also a new member of Hype Cartel. I'm still learning about that community, but through a conversation I had with somebody else in the community last week, and through my weekly committed hour a week to this community. Through my weekly commitments, I've been learning a lot more about a lot of people in the Web3 space, but I'm also getting motivation and just kind of getting refilled because I'm seeing other people who are doing things much like what I'm doing. They're builders. And when you see other people doing the same thing that you're doing, it, for me, it provides a sense of peace, and it provides me resources too, people I can connect with and talk to help learn how to do what I do better, or how I might be able to connect with people and collaborate with people as well. It's just a really, really dope community of builders and visionaries who've connected to do some amazing things. I love the way that they structure the community by requiring the hour commitment a week, for example. I think that's a great idea because I know a lot of people join communities and just kind of lurk. And that doesn't contribute, that doesn't add value to the community. To me, it kind of feels a little vampiric. It feels like you're coming to just take from the community. And I don't think that's fair to the people who put in their time and effort. If you have the ability to give, if you're in a position where you're strapped for time and all you can do is receive, because you're going through things in life or because you have commitments that just don't allow you, then I get it. But if you're sitting on the couch munching Cheetos all day and you're just coming in to watch and just kind of pull from the community, I think that's a little inconsiderate and a little bit selfish. So I like the fact that they require members to give to the community, and giving in the form of time. That works because the time I give, in that time I give, I also receive. I receive inspiration, I receive encouragement, and I receive opportunities to connect with people who are like-minded. The next thing I threw this on here last, and I'm still developing exactly what I want this to be, but I put this on here because I'm not playing about it. I'm making sure I do this. Web3 Backstories is an initiative that I want to do. It started as NFT Backstories last year, and I realized that term NFT can be triggering for some, and I feel like it's going to die. I feel like that word NFT is not going to be common language to refer to these digital assets, digital collectibles, or these things that these tokens that people can purchase and trade that are of value to them or of monetary value. But there's so much more than just NFTs to the space. So that's why I figured Web3 Backstories was a more appropriate name, because we can tell the stories about NFT projects, yes, but we can also tell the stories about NFT communities, about people in the space who are doing wonderful things who don't sell NFTs. We talk about initiatives, anything related to Web3, crypto, any of that. We can tell the stories behind these things. We can bring people on and just shine some light on some of these initiatives. And I'm especially hoping to shine this light for, marginalized people and women to have access to understand what's out there, what's available, in order to get inspiration or in order to connect with something that might add value to their lives. So Web3 Backstories is something I'm going to kick off. Timing, not sure. Maybe it'll be a next month thing. Maybe it'll be a March thing, but I will be doing it. I will be doing it as live streams so that I don't have to add another thing to edit to my plate. And basically, I'm just going to get on live and I'm going to ask people about their projects, give them a chance to share about them. It might be a thing that's 20 minutes, might be an hour. I think each episode is going to be determined by the content and the conversation, the nature of the conversation. As long as the conversation is interesting and providing value, the conversation will take place. I have one thing I have to do, and that's to create the little, something like this, what you're seeing here on the screen. I need to create the visual aesthetic for the streams. And then I schedule my first guest. I think I already have my first few guests. I already have my first few guests in mind, but I haven't said, hey, I want to sit down with you on this date. I'm supposed to do it last year. I had another person I was going to work with it on, and that kind of didn't look like it was going to go well. So backed away, said, let it breathe, because I really care about this. I want this to be done right. And I feel really good because I see it's coming, man. It's definitely about to be everything that I've hoped and wanted for it to be. And I'm really proud of that logo, man. I created that logo, and it came out even better than I wanted. Last year, I was asking people to create the logo for me, and I couldn't. A couple people tried, took whacks at it, and just nothing resonated with me. So I'm really proud of the fact that I got that. This wasn't what was in my head, because I had no idea what was in my head. But this logo is, I'm sorry, that logo is fire, man. And I've created a few logos that I've realized show that I'm capable of doing this for others. So that's another service I'm offering. I'm offering the service to create logos and cover art. I've created some really dope logos and cover art for myself. Figure, why not do it for others as well, for a reasonable price. And I've got a couple artists and creators near me that if I don't have the skill set to create the perfect logo for somebody, I've got the resources to lean on to be able to make sure somehow I get something that's just right for you. But yeah, showing you Miro and showing you my communities and initiatives, I thought that was important for this morning because it was really special. I'm really proud of it. And I'm happy that I have this tool because I have so many thoughts and ideas that I don't know how to get out other than just typing things up. And sometimes typing things up still doesn't quite get the vision together. So having something like this is going to be a huge tool. And I'm looking forward to how my skills in using a tool like this are going to evolve and make it easier for me to share my thoughts and ideas or collaborate on thoughts and ideas with people. I was going to also show you how I create thumbnails, but I realize I've been going for quite some time right now, and I don't want to make these streams long. I want to make them digestible, and we are already at, let's see, we're at 45 minutes. I think I'm ready to shut this one down. But here's the tool I use, Canva. I was going to create a thumbnail for this morning. The care for what people think, prison perspective. One of the things I'll just show you real quick. When you come into Canva, it looks like there's some people don't know, and people always used to tell me, "Oh, just use Canva," but nobody would, walk through it with me. And I find sometimes a walkthrough makes me adopt things faster, the way my brain works, or seeing somebody else use something makes me say, "Oh, okay, I know how to do that. I can do that too." A lot easier than, "I'll just go look this up," because then to me it's like, okay, that means I have to go research, I have to go learn about it, and then I get to start. Whereas if I see somebody else do it, it's like, "Oh, I saw how they did that. I can just start." So I'm going to show you just how to start, and then I'll keep it moving. What I would do when you sign up for Canva and you come in here, this is your home screen. And if you want to create something, what I need to create is a YouTube thumbnail. What I search for frequently is YouTube thumbnail. So you see that's right there in the menu. I don't know if it's popping up on the screen or not. It looks like it is. I'm looking over here seeing the monitor, and it looks like it. But here it gives you a whole bunch of templates that you can choose from. And you can just look for a template that grabs your eye. I know colors play a big role in choosing what you use or what's going to grab somebody's attention. I notice, like right now, the things that are grabbing my attention the most on this page are the ones that are red and yellow. I don't know how that works for others. I know there was a time when on the internet where blue was like that color, but I am going to create one for today. I'm going to pick one of these templates. This really sucks trying to do this live because I'm not sure which one I want to use as my starting point. What I would do is take one of these and I would customize it to make sure I get what I want out of it. And I know I talked to Yanni about these last week, and she was saying that for people who do some of the things similar to what we do, they're going for more natural aesthetics with what they create and with their thumbnails. So that's one reason I stay away from something like these red ones, is because even though they're attractive and they're grabbing my eye, they probably don't match the type of content. I'm more of a calm, relaxed conversationalist, whereas usually all these look like this action in the red ones. The yellow ones still look kind of like action. Look at all the yellow ones. But maybe this one. No, I don't like that one either. And I kind of like simple. The simpler, the better. This one's interesting. Care a day in my life. But I want to show you one of the more dramatic ones in case this is what you are interested in. So let's just take one of the more dramatic ones and give it to you anyway, just to show you what it looks like. I will, boom, let's just take this one. So you can say customize this template. And on here, you can take and replace elements. You can click on elements and delete them, for example. You can take the words that are on the screen and type what you want in there. So care for what people think. And you can resize the elements to make sure that they fit properly. I mean, it's really this simple. You can click and drag to create them the way that you want. The backgrounds and background colors. This background appears to be an image. If you double click on the background, you can see that it's an image that you can either delete or Control Z I'm holding Command Z. I'm sorry, on a Mac it's Command Z. On a PC it's Control Z to undo that delete. But you can delete that and add new elements for it. Like in this case, let's just take a little bit. I uploaded some of my own photos and videos, right? And let's see, care for what people think. Let's see if any of these works. Oh, I was messing with Q last week. I created something real funny with him. I'm not gonna do that right now. I gotta go there. I thought I was uploading some of my photography up here the other day. I did upload a little bit, but let's just, you know what? Skip this. How about I show you some of what I'm playing with, some of the ideas I'm toying with. They're not all pretty, but I can show you some of the ideas that I've been toying with for thumbnails. And it also show you some of the thumbnails I have created over the past week. Is this it? This is probably the one I'm looking for. I'm just scrolling through. That's one. That's not the one. There's one that I have that has a bunch of my brainstorming in there. And in there I have a couple that I'm toying with and playing with that I figure might be useful. This is it. Okay, so there's one that I created last week, Depression Cured. This one was cool because I cut myself out of a photo that Yanni took. I also took this photo that I took at Great Falls. You see, it's the mountains in Great Falls. As a matter of fact, let's just show you. This is the photo I took, and I just wanted the sky from that photo. So I took that sky and used that sky as the background for what ended up becoming this thumbnail. And this came from one of those templates over there. Over here. As a matter of fact, I think it came from this template right here, this one that says breaking news. I started with that and turned that into this. So you see, you can take pretty much anything. This is one of the templates I'm going to use where I can take 3 of my vertical photos and put them in there. Here's one that I did about that crowdfund thing. I took one of my photos and just took the lettering from one of the other templates that was out here. I think I took this speedrun horror game and ended up just keeping the font and using that. And I took my my signature, my new autograph, digital autograph, and use that. But maybe this will be the one I use when I do care. Oh, no, this isn't the right photo either. But this is a photo I shot one day when I was doing a bike ride downtown in DC. I see how some ways I can fix that too and make it work a little bit better. But it was a dope photo. It's a photo I took of some tomatoes at Spicknell's Farmers Market. Love the photo, and I've always wanted to use the photo for something. So I took that one and put it in there. It's going to be one of my topics, how diet helped cure my depression. Toxic positivity. I don't know if you guys saw this one last week, but I took a picture of myself and threw myself on there. But all these things were just easy to take photos and pictures in some of these templates and create thumbnails. I think are kind of interesting. And you see there's some more that I'm going to play with. I see some really dope concepts on here that I want to take and play with. So we'll see what comes as a result. All right, I think that's it for what I'm sharing this week. Hopefully I'll get back to reading the book that I've fallen in love with and that is helping me so much in this leg of my journey. I'm not reading it until I get back to reading it online. But right now it's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Sorry, it's not autofocusing. I don't have my autofocus thing set up right now. But Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself is challenging me to change the way that I think about myself in the world. And I think it's really helping me make progress. Okay, we can turn our autofocus back on and see if it works. Autofocus still not doing its job. Oh well. But hey, it's been beautiful this morning. I'm happy to have been able to do some live journaling, share a little bit about what I'm doing and what we're building. Hopefully you'll be a part of building. If you support and believe in the social impact causes that I'm working toward, or the mental wellness mission that I'm on, the advocacy that I'm on, or if you need some services, please hit me up, dragonspitchfork.com/services for the services. If you are not in the need for services right now, I could really use some help. So you can also go to my tip jar on my website, dragonspitchfork.com/tip-jar. There's a tip jar button on the website as well. You can go there and you can see all the different ways that you can support me. You can buy services, you can buy products, for example, you can buy merch, and there are ways that you can donate. You can donate through the standard Cash App, PayPal, Stripe and all that, but you can also donate cryptocurrency. You can also buy one of my NFTs. I've got my NFTs or one of Yanni's. I've got my Pitchfork Pieces NFTs. They are passes to a content library that I'm building. They'll give you the access, especially if you're a content creator, access to instrumentals that you can use as background music in your videos, royalty free. They'll give you access to stock footage that I'll be putting up there. So if you want to create interesting videos and you want to put some B-roll behind what you're shooting or what you're putting up there, royalty free once again, you'll be able to use that stock footage. And then stock photography too. I'm going to put some of my photos. I don't know if I started loading them yet, but I've kind of revamped how I'm going to do this project, and I'm doing some interesting stuff. Something else that's interesting. I want to share one more thing before I go, but support. dragonspitchfork.com, the tip jar, or go to services. Let's rock, let's work together. Let's keep these lights on. Let's keep these streams going. Let's keep me contributing to the Web3 community, the real world communities, these charities, to hip hop, to marginalized people. Help me keep this mission going. But I created my EPK, the first draft of my EPK this weekend. Never thought I would create an EPK before. I always thought EPKs, no, that's for people who want to be artists, who want to be signed, who want to be on a label. I don't want any of that. But I realized an EPK can help people better understand who I am and what I do with just going at a glance and just seeing a few things about me. So if you go to dragonspitchfork.com, go to the website. Oh, let me get back to the screen share, my bad. And not my bad, because as in one space I realized I heard somebody say that triggers them. Let's get me out of the way. So go to my website and you will see first there's the tip jar I was telling you about. There's a button for the tip jar. You can see purchases and donations will earn you free digital assets. I'll shoot you free NFT if you buy something to support me, for sure. Absolutely. And maybe more NFTs over the time, but you can see the different services and products, because I'm not asking you to donate first. I love working. So I will be happy to work and earn whatever funds that I get. More than happy to work to earn the funds that I get. But I also have the fundraising projects, Pitchfork Pieces, which is my NFT project I just mentioned. And No Man's Land is Yanni's NFT project. It's one-of-one photos, fine art photography that she's created. And these photos are fire, man. And the story behind them is fire. You can learn more about the story on our pilot NFT episode of NFT Backstories. So there's a link there. But the different ways you can donate are right there. There's fiat, regular money. You can use Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, or Stripe. You can also see all my different cryptocurrency public addresses so that you can send cryptocurrency if you'd like to help support us. I've also just added a wish list, Amazon wish list. I've got a professional one, which will have things like I need some better recording headphones for me to record verses now that I'm going to actually start intentionally putting time into rhyming this year. And my personal wish list so that we can keep things going on the personal front, especially because the first item on the list is garlic powder. I'm like, we cook over here, and we do plant-based foods, and we share pictures and images and BTS of some of the plant-based foods. We want to get back to doing that, so we'll put things like that in there, like the garlic powder on that list. In there, you can see there's the episode of NFT Backstories if you want to watch and learn more about Yanni's NFT project. Again, the services that I have right there: creative wellness coaching, hosting, and interviews. I'm doing that a lot more now, and I'm proud of that page. I worked on that page yesterday, actually. I've got a piece of the episode we did with Configure last month on the Rapheads Twitter space. I took an excerpt of that just to kind of show an example of what I do as a host. I also took and put a link for this Saturday's Color the Blockchain space, because I really feel like I did a pretty good job Saturday as well. So this will give you a chance to see where I am with my hosting capabilities and my interview capabilities. I know people say I ask good questions and I make people feel welcome, and I'm working on developing those skills. So you can book a consultation. We can talk about me hosting or doing an interview for you if you'd like. And you can see a couple examples there. I was also working on testimonials, but I don't want to talk about that part yet. That's something I'm still working on cleaning up a little bit, and I want to review some things with them. But I was bringing you here to show you, see, this is the ADHD thing. I got so many thoughts and ideas going on at once. Maybe it was the tip jar I was bringing you here to see. No, it was the EPK. Sorry, sidetrack. So I saw Mizzo created an EPK. I told him, like, I was really inspired by the one he created. So I figured, I'm going to go ahead and do my EPK. One other thing that's important, because I'm really proud of this, man. We got interviewed last week by Little Vibe on his Twitter space, Grayskulls. First time we had so many of us in one place, in one interview space. And I think we got the ultimate Grayskull interview. So check that out, man. That is really dope. I don't think I've got it on my website yet, but I think I'm going to end up dropping that on the homepage because I'm so proud of it. Yeah, it's going on here somewhere. I don't know where and how, but that's definitely going on here. That if you want to see a copy of it, though, it's on my YouTube channel, dragspitchfork.com, or you can just go search YouTube for the Ultimate Grayskull interview. It's also on the Grayskull channel as well. Let's just show you. Oh, there it goes. You can see, there's the thumbnail. You can see what the thumbnail looks like right there. It's, again, created in Canva, the Ultimate Grayskull interview. That joint was, we got a chance to tell our stories, and it just felt good. It was a fun chance to hang out. But the EPK now, back to the EPK. And the link was right here on the EPK, as a matter of fact. Hit EPK, and I used Telly, followed in King Mizzo's footsteps. He showed me a great way to get started on it, so followed in his footsteps. The EPK shows you the backstory on my NFT project. There you can see the link for the NFT project page, but you can also see I started writing a bio for the first time. I've never wanted to do that before, but there's a bit of a bio there. There's the link to that Grayskull interview. You get some photos in the APK just to kind of see a little bit about me, and samples of my music. For example, this Pitchfork Productions Year 1 for Grayskull. It's a little compilation playlist that I put together that's you can buy on Bandcamp if you want to support, but it's also available for, on the streaming services. I've created a playlist on Apple Music. I created a playlist on Spotify and a playlist on YouTube where you can get these same songs in the same sequence. I put the songs in the sequence in which they came out. So, Butterscotch Linens was the first song that we released for Grayskull, for example. So that's the first song on this thing here. But it's also got all these different songs on here. All good taste of a little bit of everything. You see all these different songs, starting from the first song, Butterscotch Linens. That's the first Grayskull song. But I'm not going to play any of that. You could also see links to some of the important artist HFR stuff. You can see a little songwriting BTS, me doing working on a reference track over here for a song that we're working on for Grayskull called Lifelines. BTS for a Grayskull song called Queued Up. You can see a little bit of video. You can also see some of the content I create on YouTube on there. So the EPK just shows little bits and pieces and tidbits of what I do and what I'm doing. And it was created with Telly. Go to tell.ie. on the internet if you want to create one. If you need the link, I'll send you a link where you can, if you use my link, you can get some sort of benefit, and I get some sort of kickback from it too if you sign up. So check out the EPK, and don't forget, hit the tip jar if you want to find out how to support me. Look at my services on my website, all that. And I hope to connect with you more and more. I really hope that this year we're going to do some big things together as a community. And I want you to have a beautiful day on purpose. Peace.